Hello friends, my name is Lalita Berwa. Today we will study the second part of the poem Pied Beauty. Let's see the theme of the poem. The first theme in the poem is nature. Hopkins has a poet's sharp eye for the intricate detail in nature, and this poem is rooted in the landscape he knows very well. Full of reference to British flora and fauna, he values all creatures and believes every one of them is beautiful. Hopkins has a large and vast appreciation of nature. As a painter, Hopkins sees everything with an artistic eye. In this poem, Hopkins epitomizes the beauty of different colors which he finds in nature. Hopkins sees nature as pied. Pied means multicolored. He includes all the aspects in a broadest concept: sky, land, and sea. The poet brings out a sense of calmness and tranquility of nature. The next theme is praising God. As we know, Hopkins is a priest, therefore, he always praises God for everything. His theory is that everything in this world should be praised without considering how they look like. Everything has a beauty. He wants us to glorify God and all his creations. In the poem Pied Beauty, Hopkins glorifies God for dapple things. He glorifies God even for fickle, freckled. Hopkins tells though the creation of God have undergone changes, God is beyond change. God's attribute of immutability is praised. Thematically, this poem is a simple hymn of praise for dapple things. Next theme is diversity. Pied Beauty is a hymn of praise to the variety of God's creations, which is contrasted with the unity and non changing nature of God. Diversity is embodied in the dapple things of nature: piebald, clouds, cattle, trout, finches, and so on. Diversity in the sense the poet not only talks about big object as sky but also talks about small object as finches. Hopkins celebrates diversity in God's creation. Hopkins adopts the Catholic view that God is the only unity in the world. Everything exists in diversity. Next is unity in diversity. There is unity in diversity in the poet's juxtaposition of contrasting elements. Thus, the solid, familiar form of the cow is set against the unbounded infinite sky, just as the various finite and ever-changing forms of creation are set against oneness, infinity, and constancy of God. All the things in nature are united as the creation of God. The poem is a celebration of beauty in all its forms, whether fickle or freckled, fragile or changeable. All God's creations have beauty in their own unique way. According to the poem, everything and everybody is beautiful in its own way. Hopkins sees beauty where others see flaws. The appreciation of beauty in this Victorian poetry is a reaction to the spread of ugliness under the impact of relentless industrialization. Next theme is transience. According to the poem, the beauty of the earth is on change. Hopkins sees the same patterns of transient beauty in the greatness of a clouded sky or the smallness of finches' wings. The man also has the power of creation, it is not permanent. According to the poet, God is the only being that does not change. Next theme is man and nature. At a time when industrial revolution was prompting many writers to lament over the growing gap between man and nature and the consequent destructions of the countryside, this poem is a celebration of the oneness between rural man and land. Hopkins portrays man as another organic part of God's creation. The traits mentioned by the poet brings man into a cooperative and creative relationship with nature as well as creator. Next theme is moral and personal aspect. The fresh fire coal chestnut fall seems to open up a moral and personal aspect of the theme of variety. The idea of broken open chestnut revealing a shining hidden glory within. It suggests that an unremarkable or flawed exterior can conceal a beautiful, divinely inspired soul. This suggestion is picked up by the ambitious adjectives fickle, freckled, which are commonly used to describe things which were not approved by the Victorian mainstream, like inconstant lovers and flawed complexion. Let's see the style of the poem. It is a curtal sonnet. Curtal sonnet or short end sonnet. It differs from the standard Petrarchan sonnet. In the curtal sonnet, the octave becomes a sestet and the sestet becomes a quatrain, 4 lines followed by a half-line tail-piece. The progression is from the vast and infinite to the small and particular. The second stanza or quatrain reverses this process, ranging from the particular and varied all things to the more abstract qualities such as swiftness and slowness, thanks to God's act of creation. He further forth, and ultimately to the unchanging nature of God Himself. Poet has used sprung rhythm. Hopkins based his sprung rhythm on the metrical system of Anglo-Saxon and traditional Wales poetry. Sprung rhythm is based on the number of stressed syllables in a line and permits any number of unstressed syllables. Each would consist of a first strongly stressed syllable which either stand alone or is followed by unstressed syllable. Generally there are between 1 and 4. For example, glory be to God for dappled things. Diction. Use of compound and hyphenated words. Neologism such as couple color, rose moles, fresh fire coal, chestnut fall. Hopkins' use of compound word is a deliberate borrowing from the Anglo-Saxon and Welsh poetic tradition. Use of unusual synonyms such as pied, dappled, couple color, freckled. Alliteration. Poet has used alliteration in this poem. In the line, glory be to God, skies of couple color as a brinded cow, fresh fire coal, chestnut falls, finches, landscape plotted and pieced, trade their gear and tackle and trim, spare strange, swift, slow, sweet, sour, a dazzle dim. He farther forth whose. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A B C A B C D B C D C. Consonants used in the poem is dappled, stipple, tackle, fickle, freckled. Style, tone, and speaker. Old statement biblical hymns and psalm writing style start with glory be to God, and the poem ends with praise Him. The tone is exuberant and spirited. The speaker is Hopkins himself. Other devices used in the poem is oxymoron, such as swift and slow, sweet and sour, a dazzle and dim. Anaphora, for skies of couple color as a brinded cow, for rose moles all in stipple upon trout that swim. Metaphor, simile, and imagery. Metaphor in line third, rose moles all in stipple upon trout that swims. Comparison of the spots on a speckled trout to moles. Line 4. Fresh fire coal chestnut falls. Comparison of chestnut kernel to burning coals. Line 10. Suckled in a crete outworn. Comparison of crete to a mother nursing her child. Similarly in line 2. Skies of couple color as a brinded cow. Comparison of skies to a cow. Inscape. Inscape is a concept that Hopkins derived from the medieval philosopher Duns Scotus. Everything in the universe, according to Hopkins, is characterized by a distinctive design that constitutes individual identity. In other words, inscape is those characteristics that gives each thing in the world its uniqueness and differentiating it from other things. Rhetorical question. Whatever is fickle, freckled, who knows how? An apostrophe, praise him. Irony. He father forth whose beauty is past change. This end is gently ironic and beautifully surprising. The entire poem has been about variety, and then God's attributes of immutability is praised in contrast. By juxtaposing God's changelessness with this vicissitude of his creation, his separation from creation is emphasized as his vast creativity. The conclusion of the poem, that every God gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of light, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Nature is the lovely manifestation of God. This is the text of the poem. Thank you.